You're listening to a podcast on the Podfix Network. Hello and welcome to Little Bits and Pieces featuring Walrus. I'm your host for this episode, Christian Torres. Joining me, as always, are my co-hosts.
Jeffrey... No, go ahead, Matt. You jump in here.
Matt?
No, you
how
really
can we mess
wanted
it up?
to, and
how can we
I'm
mess
sorry.
it up?
We're sitting in front of each other.
I'm sitting.
Hello and welcome to Little Bits and Pieces. I'm your host, Christian Torres. Joining me, as always, are...
Jeffrey Fella.
And...
Matt Walker.
Nailed it.
Oh, not really. I
Nailed it.
Okay.
So, Christian, what do you want to learn about today? I feel like I'm ready to dispense some improv wisdom for all our cowboys out there.
Yeah, it's really like... I want to learn something, just really get from point A to point B.
Like a line?
Yeah, exactly like a line, and like 2 points make a line.
But down?
No, that's not really. Maybe something in the opposite direction. Maybe
Left
up.
or right? Wait, up?
Maybe up. Yeah, maybe
like the
lineups.
Pixar movie?
Yeah, maybe we talk about lineups today.
Wow, did we just stumble upon that?
Yeah, wow, so
That's how
organic.
good we are.
Yeah,
This is improv.
yeah, we just,
That was really good.
off the cuff, just made it up.
Really good.
No prep whatsoever.
So, do you guys ever read Heathcliff like a comic?
Like, that's like Garfield, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Garfield, I think, but he's like a
isn't
little
it
bit
like a dirtier Garfield?
Wait, does Heathcliff have a
Isn't that the
spin-off?
like he swears.
Does Heathcliff have a spin-off?
He has sex? What?
Wait, does Heathcliff have a solo title?
What?
Heathcliff?
Does he-
Solo title?
Yeah.
What do you mean by solo title? Like he's not.
It's called
he's-
Heathcliff.
He doesn't.
Is there?
He doesn't
Yeah.
exist in the Garfield universe.
he's
if
the
that's
one
what
that
you're asking.
did the like fish.
He did that first.
Wait, no
one did that
is Heathcliff
first.
not
Yeah.
Garfield's buddy?
No.
No.
Who am I thinking of?
I think Garfield is.
Who's Garfield's bud?
Odie, the dog.
No,
Odie?
the other cat.
John, the
Nermal.
human?
I'm thinking of Nermal. Are Nermal and Heathcliff at all related?
I think it's Nerble.
Like,
Nerble.
they're
Is
both-
it?
I think so.
Who's Nermal?
Or maybe it's Nermal. I don't know. I'm thinking of 30 Rock where he goes, Nermal! Anyway.
Is Nermal in 30 Rock?
Tracy Jordan is playing Garfield in one
I
of
think
the
Heathcliff
episodes.
is like the feline response
Garfield.
to Marmaduke, right?
Is he?
To Marmaduke?
Because Garfield's later. Garfield's post
Yeah, but
Heathcliff.
Marmaduke doesn't talk or
Isn't
anything.
Marmaduke a parody of Scooby-Doo?
No.
Well, he's just the same
Marmaduke's
dog, I
older.
think.
No. Marmaduke's older than Scooby-Doo, right?
Is
yeah.
he?
But also, they're the same dog. They're
Because
not
Marmaduke,
like
yeah.
Are
'cause
they the same
Marmaduke-
dog?
Yeah.
Like at different times, at different
Marmaduke-
points
yes.
in their lives?
Yes, Marmaduke, there's a whole panel where he goes to his science lab.
And then they're like, we're going to call you Scooby-Doo. And
And then he just learns to talk that way.
not because of any scientific experiments. It
No.
just
He
clicks.
just learns.
Yeah,
like,
he just
"All right."
kind of he says his name and then he's like, "Oh,
That's
okay."
how Meowth learned to talk. The Pokemon Meowth. He just watched some people talk and then he learned.
Yeah, wouldn't that
He
be
picked it up.
Wouldn't that be amazing if that's how easy it was? It's just like a fly in a room, just like around people all the time. It's like, I can talk now. It's like, oh shit, I can talk.
Scooby-Doo got his name from a Frank Sinatra song.
Yeah, that
Strangers
great
in the
song
Night.
where he goes, Scooby Dooby Ooby Dooby.
And that's exactly what it is.
No,
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
it's the song Scooby-Dooby-Doo, Where Are You? This is where the name
Yeah,
comes from.
Frank Sinatra wrote the song
Yeah, he
about
wrote- so
Scooby
he
Doo,
wrote
and someone's like,
Scooby-Doo.
"We should make a show about this."
And everyone's like, what are Scooby snacks?
You've
And he's
got
like,
some
Scooby snacks.
mysteries now. Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? Scooby Snacks.
Bada bing.
Bada bing, I'm getting paid lots for this.
Where was he, though?
Who?
Scooby. Like when they ask him, where
In his
are
life? Oh.
Oh.
you? Like,
It's changes.
Yeah, what does he say? Does he say, well, I'm in Arizona now? Or does he go like, my mid-30s?
where in the world is Scarface anyway? It is mid. Do you think Scooby-Doo's 30 years old?
Yeah, I kind of forgot dog years.
Well, he's 30 in dog years.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, that's
If
reasonable.
he can speak English, he's going on human ears.
Well, he's descended
Years.
from a race of alien beings, so he might have an extended lifespan.
Yeah, we get that. We know.
Is he?
Yeah.
We know.
I don't know this.
Well, I found out last night, and I've been hearing about it ever since.
From Christian?
Yeah, I may have mentioned this last night. Yeah, Scooby-Doo is descended from a race of alien beings.
How does this come about?
Because that's why he talks.
What? But how do you learn this?
Well, wait, how did they
Is it just like extended lore?
How did they achieve interplanetary travel?
I don't know.
He's so stupid. Ruh-roh, I'm hungry.
Well, why does that mean stupid? He's hungry. That doesn't mean you're stupid.
Matt, I can't really do.
Because you want to eat.
I can't really do Scooby Doo, but I wanted when it's Where Is He? I wanted to say he was on Truth Social. Can you do that to Scooby Doo?
Truth Social.
It's all right. That's all I wanted to hear.
Did you want to talk about Truth Social more? It feels like you're setting that up.
No.
Yeah, you're kind of pushing that. You've been pushing Truth Social all weekend.
No, it's fine. It's if you want to add me on there, you can find me
At Walrus Comedy.
Is Truth Social just like Twitter, but
I think it's purely
Isn't it like
conservative,
Facebook?
right?
Or is that Parler?
No, Parler is like,
Parler is conservative, but
I
it's
think
like
Parler's
Twitter, right?
like Twitter. I think Parler's like Twitter.
So what's Truth Social like?
Instagram?
Is it
really?
Is it
No,
a
I
bunch
don't
of
know.
Pictures?
TikTok.
Yeah, I guess how would we
bunch
know?
of thirst traps by conservatives.
I'm pretty sure when I picture any of the hard right social medias or whatever, I just picture all of those shitty memes that are like Donald Trump and it's like him against the flag and he's like, he didn't die for your wokeism or whatever.
And then-
Are they
That
called the
shit.
hard
and then,
right?
And then come
I
see
said hard right,
Walrus.
didn't
Come see Walrus tonight.
yeah. I fought for freedom. See Walrus.
Sea
Sarasota.
Sea Walrus as a reference.
Yeah. See Walrus.
It's true. He fought for freedom. We were there.
Yeah.
He died for our sins.
So we're in Sarasota
Donald.
for the Sarasota Improv Festival.
yeah.
We're all together in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
It sounds different, I guess. It sounds.
Yeah,
a little
maybe.
different. I don't know.
I mean, if all goes according to plan, it's not going to sound too much different.
I mean, it's the same three people,
Yeah, it's the same. And that one guy who's always in the room with us.
but we
Sure.
don't
He
acknowledge.
doesn't have a mic.
Goblin John.
Yeah, well, he's constantly looking for a microphone. We just can't.
Right.
Well, it's like, when there's a cameraman, you don't acknowledge him, even though it's like anytime you watch a documentary,
Yeah.
there is a fourth person in
Until
that room.
like 3/4 into the documentary when some big bit of information's dropped and then the person behind the camera is like, so what did you do? They're like, we have to include that question.
So when it comes to lineups, like, do you like to put scary groups first?
Get those out of the way. Get those
Yeah.
jump scares. Everybody's kind of like, "Ooh, that was fun." You
Yeah,
know,
heartbeat
vibe.
up, heartbeat up.
Yeah, heartbeat up.
Yeah.
Got to get that heartbeat up. And then I usually go into some cardio to keep that going.
Okay, some more cardiac groups.
Cardiac groups.
Yeah, cardiac groups.
Yeah.
Cardiac
I like to keep it
improv.
going.
I mean, I do think, speaking of cardiac, I do think you want to keep the energy up at the top. You want to
think
start,
everybody agrees with
you,
that.
You want to start out strong, and then you want to end strong as well, if
All right, these
possible.
sound
Yeah,
like-
honestly,
these
if
sound
you
like
could be-
notes.
what
They
if-
sound like notes for us?
Sure, and I think one of the things you want to do is actually have a group with good cohesion and support, and if other members on your group actually supported anything you did. I'm
and
sorry?
also, you guys need to pull your weight.
I'm sorry. Am I giving notes, or am I just getting to the fucking topic? I'm sorry. I'm more than happy to talk about Scooby-Doo some more, but
No, the lineups, festivals, it's always like the lineups become super apparent. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is the lineup.
Wait,
It's
Man, often-
very apparent.
I mean, oftentimes it's different. I feel because in festivals sometimes you get like a thing to you get a block to
Yeah.
yourself kind of a thing.
is that why our spot was moved?
Our spot was moved.
Yeah, at the festival last night. We
Explain the joke you're making.
we were I'm kind of making a joke, but we were bumped up, right? Like we were originally slated to.
Close the block.
Yeah.
Well, I
And we
think
got-
that's just because
I
somebody
think
put
it was
our
a clerical.
put our name. They're wait. Are we? What?
Are we letting Christian talk, Jeff?
No.
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry.
No, you said like I was about to say something controversial, and
I think he was starting to say.
Be quiet. Be quiet. Everybody be quiet.
We're
Let's
like,
just
go
have
to
a
sleep.
no. Let's have a moment. Let's
Sorry,
just
no, it's just Goblin John is kind of getting a little antsy. So
Okay, so
is Goblin John like a goblin?
Yeah,
or is
well, he's
Goblin
like-
John a turkey?
no, more like In my mind, it was Goblin.
Okay.
And he like moves really fast. He's kind of hunched over.
I just thought maybe it was Goblin John.
And it's always when you look at him.
I mean,
It's no, that wasn't.
oh, but he did like that though.
Yeah.
But it's like
when he
it's
did that.
shaky cam when you look at him. It's always shaky cam.
Is he recording footage?
That's insane. He's like vibrating constantly.
He can only be perceived in shaky cam. I see. Yes,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that is what I was going for. So.
Oh, that'd be dope if life was like Into the Spider-Verse, where everyone was in a different art style. That would be dope.
Yeah. What would you be?
Ooh, I want to be pointillism.
Pointillism?
Yeah.
I'd probably be cell shaded.
Yeah. That'd be
like cell shaded.
I would be like a Mondrian, kind of like just the squares with the colors.
That's interesting. You guys both chose classical artists.
Yeah, and you chose some dumb.
We're classy guys.
Dumb
animation
little short Looney Tunes, Matt. How about that?
That'd be pretty cool.
Well, that makes more sense, I think.
Sure.
With like a Mondrian style.
Sure, like a Nemo in Slumberland kind of.
Nemo in Slumberland?
Yeah.
Is that what part of the movie does that happen?
No, that's like a turn of the century comic. Well, a little after a turn. It's like 20s maybe.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking.
Slumberland.
I thought you were talking
It's
about
like a famous.
Finding
No. It's a.
Nemo. Maybe.
So
it's
what
been a while
sort
since I've
of?
seen the movie.
Yeah, obviously the point of a lineup is to keep the energy high. But what?
I don't know about that.
Do you want to keep the energy low?
No, I
Depends
think
what
it's
type
all
of show.
about understanding what each thing will bring. So if you have a low energy
Where do you
thing,
put the
you
bad
bring a high
team?
thing.
Middle.
Where do you put the bad team?
Yeah.
I don't want to say.
Okay.
I mean, ideally, you don't put them on, right?
Yeah, okay, but we've done improv for a while.
Okay,
so.
the middle. You put them in the middle.
Oh, you put them second after the act that you accidentally bump them to the second act and say, oh, whoops, it was a clerical error.
We can't release this now. You're coming off very hot.
Yeah.
I'm talking about us, so I mean...
Well, I know, but you're talking about the festival.
You're talking about a
fucking
clerical
up.
error.
Oh, that's
So
true.
we
That's
can't talk
true.
No, we could have been like, oh, no, actually, that is a problem. And that would have been fine, too. They would have been like, okay, I know it says Walrus, but here's the other guys, whatever. But
They just show the movie, the other guys.
you don't want to, yeah.
You trust us. You can
pretty
have more
good.
fun with this.
First 20 minutes of the other guys.
Yeah, I mean, we talked in depth a little bit about our set, and we did our normal thing, but we flubbed it a little bit. But that said, our normal thing doesn't necessarily track behind like a big extravaganza musical thing.
Yeah.
Not that it's like can't stand on its own. In fact, that's preferable. I think is what we decided. We would love a longer goddamn sets so we can explore things more.
Yeah, when I do, like, I don't have many opinions on lineups in general, except that because I do a fair amount of musical improv, when I do music stuff, I do like to end, because I just think, like, energy wise, I think when you end like a musical improv sets should end like this crescendo of like things like coming to a head and like this big emotional moment, and I kind of like closing on that as opposed to like going into another thing which isn't gonna have that music behind it.
That's true. Yeah, that it should have been. I mean, I wouldn't have minded opening
Right.
and then switching with them.
Right.
Because basically, you're setting the audience up to be like, like, yay, like, it's just a big release of, like, huzzah. Like,
right.
even if it's, not good, it's like musical can end on a big crescendo that everybody's like, yeah, we understand it.
Right,
And it's like,
it's a
this
big
is the end,
emotional
everybody
moment,
claps,
yeah.
people stand, whatever.
What's
Some people throw hats. Yeah, some people shoot their pistols in the air.
They throw the roses. It's a real thing. People cry.
Taking tops off, throwing them.
They hug each other. They just salute.
People stabbing others.
Somebody single tear and then a nod across the room.
One guy's head explodes and there's blood everywhere, brain matter.
Pretty intense.
But nobody's like bothered by it at all. They're unfazed.
It's musical. And then to be like, all right, and these guys are going to subvert and usurp everything you saw. That guy's head unexplodes.
That'd be amazing.
What are
The
other
bullets go right back into the pistols. Those hats go right back, and they glue onto people's heads.
What are other ways to end a lineup? What are other kind of?
Well, I would say, in an ideal world, every single group is high energy. You book blocks based on like what they do essentially, and if they're all like, higher energy, everything should be higher energy. But if you have something that does like, I don't know, say like a slower narrative kind of thing, then it's like I would put that middle. It's just kind of like you think of acts in a script or something.
Sure.
It's like you want things to go like that kind of.
You're doing a visual gag
Yeah.
on a podcast.
You want things to go like this, not like this.
That's a good point.
Or like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, like that.
Sure. And yeah.
But we're not talking about this.
No,
And we're not
no.
talking about this. We're talking about this.
Oh, that's a great way to describe it.
Yeah.
The way you're doing it.
Thank you.
That whiteboard is helpful for me.
Yeah, no problem.
What
Because it's like you want to start lowest. I mean, that's why like openers are typically like newer people. for
is
the most
stand
part.
up? Do you usually stand up at the top?
What?
Stand up. Like if you have a stand up set in your lineup.
Yeah, I would.
You have a
Like can you close on stand up?
yeah.
You
If
could.
they're good, like
Yeah.
I don't know, you just have to have a strong comedian who can read the room, understand what has happened, transpired.
What if
prior
it was
to their
just
set.
chaos, like to end with, like you just let a bear into the audience or something?
that would be. I mean, if you have a bear, end on the bear. Because if you start with the bear,
End on the bear
everyone's
is-
gonna
Yeah.
leave.
End
That's
on the
true.
bear is what my mentor taught me, and his mentor taught him. Yeah, end on the bear.
Because if you start with the bear, the other acts don't get a chance to go up because most people are gonna get maimed by the bear.
Always
So-
start on the bear.
I'm trying to picture Will being like, all right, thank you guys for being here so much. You saw, of course, Walrus. You saw Treble in Paradise. And I am very excited to bring to you, for the first time ever, a bear. And then... it's just-
You know him. You love him.
I just love the idea that the bear comes out like bear runs, very like lumbery, and then just swipes Will and kills him in one blow.
Whoa, you like that idea? Whoa.
It's just so insane.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Oh man,
I don't like that idea at all.
No, and then of course the bear
He's
gets
just
out of.
dead. He's
But he's
just
got a big
dead.
smile on his face.
He's got somebody in his mouth. On the back, on the projector, it just says the bear or whatever. Bear. And
Oh man.
yeah, that's how I would. That's my ideal lineup. Is you open with a newer stand-up. He's a local guy, He's just cutting his teeth. You do a couple acts. Maybe you get the penultimate's a musical act. It's pretty funny, high energy, and then Will lets a bear into the audience. Like that's my ideal set.
I can't stop picturing me like, God. And then just like,
He's got the arm outstretched. He's like totally excited for it. He's just lost his mind, and this bear kills him.
yeah.
Oh boy!
Well,
It's amazing they keep booking the bear.
Yeah, it kills.
It kills.
It kills.
Oh God.
Boy, I can't. Well, we're not gonna top that. So
No, but I mean that's basically it. Biggest thing at the end.
yeah.
It literally is. It's not a bell curve. It's a storyline curve.
It's funny, like, when you think about like mediums of communication, it's like, putting the message you want to tell, like the best medium for it is the best method of communicating. Yeah, you want to have high energy throughout the course of a show, an hour long podcast. What we could have wrote in a sentence of keep the energy up.
Keep the energy up.
That could have been the whole podcast.
Well, I feel like there's more. I feel like lineup is like it requires some research on producers' ends.
Right, in terms of like animal handling laws.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know what to do with a bear. You
I
just let it in the audience.
Will's like doing his bear show in another state at a festival, and it's like he Googles. He's like, "Are bears allowed in closed spaces?" And he's like, "Oh my God, I can't do this in Nashville."
I did look into renting a bear once. It's more expensive
Did
than
you?
you'd think. Yeah.
I'd say $2,000.
Yeah, that's that's about what it was at the time, but inflation might have affected that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Bear inflation's been pretty bad.
Well, you're getting more bear.
Bearflation, yeah.
You're getting more bear, of course.
Sure. Well, now they'll give you a smaller bear for the same price, and so it's
there's shrinkflation.
Yeah. Every year the bears get a little bit smaller, but you don't really notice. Like if you put a bear today next to a bear from 1990, it's amazing how much smaller it is.
But you don't realize
people
it.
are leaving the Bounds Theater and they're bloodied, but they're like, the bear was better last year.
That wasn't the bear we saw.
It's a different bear. They say it's the same bear every year, but I know better.
The newspaper flip, it's like bear show, dead on arrival.
This is the opening of like a country bear style movie. About a comedy bear.
A bear who loses weight to get healthy, and then he loses all of his jobs.
No,
Right.
I think Will and the bear, they're out of work, right? So they like become cops or something, and the bear is like his deputy, and they drive around. Or you could do something like you could do like, it doesn't have to be cops, it could be anything.
See, I'm thinking it's like, you got to get the band back together type situation.
So they're not together.
Right, where it's like we've been out for too long. But what if one more show to get the money to save
The bear is like, because it's a real bear, he's been released into the woods, and Will's like thinking that he's doing this bear a favor. And the bear like clearly doesn't want to go back. Will like captures the bear, forces
He's like, you just want to do improv, don't you, boy?
The bear has a family now, and he's like, let's go. The band is back together.
Oh no! So the bear now has to escape and like.
Yeah, it's a horror film.
It's a horror film, yeah.
For bears.
For bears.
Will's like got a reputation with bears. It's like this guy is like Dr. No or something for bears. Their evil villain.
Oh man.
Boy.
Yeah, and then if you have groups that are like international, you have to obviously take that into account because they need longer time, or they deserve longer time. I mean, dude flies from Southeast Asia, pick a country. Let's say Laos. There's a Laotian improviser flies into Florida, and if you're only going to give that guy,
his arms tired.
So yeah, sure, whatever. And if you give him like 15 minutes, like that's not very fair, It's a long flight. It's probably a 25-hour flight.
I mean, the ideal in every situation is every group just gets their own hour.
Right.
And then you don't need a lineup.
Yeah, I haven't had an hour set in.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
There's not enough opportunities to put up a show here they
save
time.
Well, because they save time for the bear now.
Yeah.
And that's at least a 30-minute set.
God. Well, it starts at they schedule the 30-minute set, but then you don't consider the amount of time it's going to take to wrangle the bear back.
Sure.
To stop the bear's rampage.
Sometimes they don't even. They end the show like that's our show, and then he like makes his way into the
bear continues
the bar or whatever, and.
Yeah, he's greeting fans.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. It's really frustrating though in our sets when we're like doing stuff, and then it'll be like bear. Yeah,
it's like,
bear,
and it's like we're gonna get to it. It's like we all know it's gonna happen.
But the bear's not for another like 2 hours, and they're already.
I hate cutting our set short because it's like, okay, they want the bear.
Yeah,
and we read the room and we're just like, okay, here he is, the bear.
And I feel bad because the bear is so cool in the green room. It's like he's such a nice guy.
I don't like that he smokes.
I mean, I feel like that's part of his process.
He's an artist. He's an artist, maybe. Matt. You really have to make the allowance. Yeah. I like the image that the bear has like this 50-year-old woman in his mouth, like he's chomping down, and she's still like bear.
There's something about the glee of being mauled by a bear that is so funny to me.
Like the pain doesn't set in until later, when the adrenaline's just kicking in. It's like
and it's only if it's a bad show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does the bear have bad shows? Does he ever have a bad day? Like what does that look like?
Everybody has bad shows. Everybody has bad shows.
Even the bear.
I think he probably knows how to keep them to himself for the most part.
Yeah.
He is guarded, isn't he?
he
I
doesn't
worry.
hang out after sets.
Very rarely do I see him, and if he does, it's like 5 minutes.
And I worry about him.
Yeah,
I'm being honest. I worry about the bear.
Yeah. I mean, I do too, because he's gonna, like Chris Farley. It's like he's being pushed so hard.
Yeah.
And, he burns bright.
Yeah.
But that bear,
There's a lot of demand. I think he has a show in Chicago next week.
Yeah.
And then he said he was doing
did
some
you even see the
international.
Hulu show that he created?
Which show?
The
The bear.
Which show? I don't.
The bear.
I think he did.
He created that whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's amazing, but like, how do you find time to do that? I asked him once and he said, it's when you do what you love. And I'm like, that's such a line that someone gave to you, and I know he's hurting.
You could see it in the eyes. You could see it. You could see it in his eyes.
I just know he's hurting.
You see him when you see him bite down on one of the the audience members. You see in his eyes, he's just
Because it's not
like,
the
this
same
is
anymore. He's
stale.
not biting it the same way he used to bite, and you know the difference. If you were there in his early career, you just know the difference.
and they're still screaming. They're like excited and everything. And he's not, and it's such a contrast.
And you can't tell unless you've seen, if you follow the bear.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And
If you chase the bear.
And we're getting very inside baseball here, obviously, but if you do improv and you see that, you know that he's really, his most exciting stuff is for the improvisers.
Right.
It's for the improvisers.
Yeah.
I mean, when he opened for Steve Martin, it was just like...
Sure.
You could just see they had a rapport. He fit in well with Steve, he opened for Steve Martin. And, like, he was doing it for the jokes.
So Steve
for
Martin's
the
gonna be out here in another 30 minutes. But before we bring him out, we have an opening act we're really excited about for you guys tonight. It's a live bear, and we're gonna be releasing him into the audience.
Yeah. So be kind. He is newer.
It's
to the
exciting.
scene.
It's exciting because nobody knows when they buy tickets if they're going to be around
And
to see
now-
Steve Martin by the time.
And now people are yelling out, mall,
Yeah.
me, mall. And it's like...
He chooses. It's his art.
Right.
It's
him
his
and
art.
Jeff Foxworthy are like the same,
Yeah.
Do the redneck stuff. Mall me.
Yeah.
You just hate to see it.
So.
And I just hope I hope he evolves. I hope he sticks at it, because it's like, I hate to see somebody like get out of the game just because of the frustration and the burnout.
It's really hard. It's really hard to see.
Yeah.
But Hippo did it.
Yeah,
Sure.
Hippo's one of the greats.
Sure.
Yeah, he always evolved.
Yeah,
Sure.
kept it hip.
But you remember, in the 90s, the scene was very different. It was a very different comedy scene.
It was, but I hope he can at least use that as a template.
Yeah, that
to
edgy
grow.
stuff doesn't go as far anymore. You can't really bring that to the show.
Yeah, when he did Black and White Face
Sure.
for
The
zebras.
zebras, yeah.
Sure.
Jesus Christ. All right, yeah, so lineups are great. All
Yeah.
right, that's it.
Hard cut. Okay, hard.
Whatever, we're at about 30.
Should we do a segue out or something? Kind of smooth it
Why don't you take us home?
so
Take
it's
us home,
like
Christian.
all right. Anyway,
All right. Yeah,
So I think I think we learned a lot today. Bye.
bye, Cowboys.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. Bye.
Hi, I'm Christian Torres from Walrus. If you're interested in supporting this show, the best thing that you can do is rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Make sure to check out walrus.com, that's WALLARES, for a full list of our socials, including Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Stay tuned for news about any live shows that we may have, and new episodes of Little Bits and Pieces come out every Thursday wherever you get your podcasts.
The show you've just listened to is a part of the Podfix Network. To listen to other shows on the network, head over to podfixnetwork.com, follow on Twitter @Podfix, and join the Podfix Nation at facebook.com/Podfix.